JD, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, please hit like, please share. We're going to do a video today on a tool that I absolutely love. And this old guy here is likely to teach this young guy on how to be a watchmaker and use this very special tool. All right, let's talk about this very special tool. This is the Meyer's movement holder number 58. Will hold all watches regardless of their size, shape, or form. It's your third hand. I believe that. It says to insert movement, press thumb on screw knob A and slide base B to desired position. To remove movement, place left hand on thumb on screw A and press with fingers on base C. Reinsert likewise. See if there's anything on the side here. Save 25 to 50% of your time by the use of this movement holder made by and designed by a watchmaker. Get the back of it here. It says screw need not be turned except when half thread adjust is desired. To release movement or to spread movable base, press release button D. To insert desired jaws, start end of jaw in respective track and turn into position. And here it says nothing. So here we go. Here it is. Here are some pictures of the various movement holder types on the top here that you have. So these fingernails are from guitar playing. Please, I apologize. So let's open this up and have a look. So this movement holder is just gorgeous. So here you have in the front the movement holder, and here you have a bunch of different sized movement jobby doohickeys, which is a professional term for thingamabob. So there's the movement holder. We're just going to look at this for a second before I get into it. So there's the movement holder. It holds a pocket watch movement, and it is adjustable. So as it said in the instructions, to move it forward and back, you can't do it just by grabbing it and pulling it. You press the side button here and you squeeze it down and you push forward. And the same thing, press the side button like this and you can actually release the movement. Same way, right? And once you have the movement held, you can actually fine-tune the actual squeeze on the movement by turning this. But look at this. It's spring set on the inside here. So it protects the movement from getting crushed. So when you have the movement in here and you turn this, this actually just adjusts like that, thereby not allowing the movement holder to squeeze the movement too far. So let's put just a plate in here to show you how it fits. So I've got a plate here that I'll add to this movement holder. So here you would just pull this out like that, right, to size it, and then drop the movement down like this, and then you push it. You just simply push it like that, and now it's in there. And it even says, don't bother trying to, I'm pressing the button again, but don't bother adjusting it. That'll hold there. But if you want to do, as it says, a quarter turn, you can do that. So let's do a quarter turn. And does that tighten it up? That tightens it up right there. So it's a little more than a quarter turn, I think. So even though the instructions said a quarter turn. Now the real value of this movement holder is how it grips the movement so well. So when you're working on full plate movements, these little darts or V darts or whatever are designed intentionally to grab inward on the movement, and it just does a brilliant job. So if you have to turn this movement upside down, for example, like this, the movement will not fall out. Like you can shake the crap out of this and the movement stays where it is, and it's just being held in place through the movement holder squeezing and a little tiny bit of geometry here with these little L-shaped or V darts here that hold it. And if I look at it from the front like this, these darts are just cut straight out. They're not bent at all. They're just cut straight out. But the math allows the movement to slide ever so slightly into the V, and it slides ever so slightly into the V, which allows this to go over the top of the movement and squeezes that in place. So it's just a thing of beauty. Now you can see the screw here is a fine screw. It's allowed to be, the movement is allowed to be moved back and forth while this is in place. So you're allowed pushing that. It's meant to push it into place like that. And this button is sprung load, like this, and it just rides along the screw, the threads of the screw. So that's pretty darn handy. Now, if you want to change the jaws on this movement holder, right, and you want to, say, put a smaller movement in, all you do is grab one of the many jaws it has. So let's just spill these jaws out for a second and have a look. So it's got sets of jaws here, and you can you take the jaws very quickly, figure out what belongs to what, right? So I can see that these two jaws belong to each other like this, and that would hold a very small movement, as you can see. And these jaws are next up, which would hold a bigger movement. And this single jaw here is the partner of this other single jaw. So it would also hold a square movement in place, if you see the way that's designed. So if I were to grab a different movement and sort of switch jaws, let's see what happens. So let's first switch the jaws, right? So to switch the jaws, you rotate them out of position like that, and you take them out. And this movement holder, this has a wire in here that's sprung. It's a spring-loaded wire, so if I push down on that wire, as you can see, it's sprung, right? So it actually holds the jaws or the movement holder in place. So the various movement holders here in place. This is the one I use for pocket watch. I'm always using this, so it comes off on both sides. I have a number of these number 58 movement holders, by the way, so I was buying them for a while. They're not cheap. They're around $300 US, $350 US if you try to buy one of these, but they're worth every cent that you pay for them. So let me see if I can find another a movement to put in here that's a lot smaller. So here we have a really small movement, right? And you'd be working on it. You'd probably take the face off this movement, but let's see if this movement holder can handle a movement this small. So I'm looking at this here, and I think that's too big. This is like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, so that's too big. This might work. This looks like it might be the right size. And again, I take this this holder here, or the adapter, whatever you want to call that, and I put it in place on this side. I take the same adapter, and you slide it in from the end here. It's even in the instructions, and then you cozy it in like that. And then I've got this movement, and let's see if I can put this in here and figure out whether that's going to be the right size. Is that the right size? I think it is. There we go. That's in there like that, and that's sitting in there nicely. And let me see if I can get that down a bit. I got the face on here, which isn't the best thing to do. So that movement holder would hold this movement in place like that, and then you can work on the watch. So that's pretty cool. And also, let me see here. This, I'm not sure whether this adapter here would suffice for something square. If I get a square movement over, let's check that out. So I've got an old Russian watch. It's square face. It's not really a square movement, but it's a square face movement. This is a very old vintage Russian watch. It probably doesn't work anymore, but if I were to take a screwdriver here and just turn the mainspring, would that work? I'm not sure. Let's just forget that nonsense. So that is this is a square surface. I just want to see if this square surface actually holds it. I don't think it'll grip it because it's kind of got an edge to it like that. So it wouldn't grip the movement, I don't think. But it does have, if you look in the side here, it does have that V right there. So that V should actually help hold that movement. So we'll see if that works here. So I've got this one in here, and then I can take this one and put it on the side here like this. And then this is holding it by the face. So kind of cheating here, but it's not a round, it's not a square movement, but it's just holding it by the face here. But I can still work on this. I can still hold this by the face. And there we go. And is that in place? I think it is. I'm not sure. Let's turn that a little bit. And there we go. So that movement is now being held. And what's interesting here is if you look at this here, the V helps here. The V helps put it in place, even though this V kind of seems to be misaligned. This V is actually aligned properly, as you can see. So it just kind of overlaps just a bit, holding the movement in place. So it's good for all size movements, but really I use this daily for pocket watch movements, and the actual holding, the jaws or the jobby doohickeys or the holding sets are the big ones that I have here. So they're these ones here. Make sure they're nice and serviceable, and which means working if you don't come from an army background. Then slide that in place like that, and then this pocket watch, press the button, move it back a bit, press the button, move it in a bit, and then a couple of turns here, and this thing is in place. So this works exceptionally. So this is the Meyer's number 58. I call it, the box says it's the Meyer's movement holder number 58. So that's the movement holder right there, Meyer's movement holder number 58. So this is a long enough video. So go out there, folks, and get yourself one of these. This is the third hand that you've been missing all these years. Thanks a lot. I'm JD. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, if I could say that right. Yabba-dabba-doo. And thanks for liking, if you have liked my channel. And I've got more videos coming on watch repair. So thanks a lot, and have a good weekend.